Hi, I'm Rob Patz, and welcome to 5 Minutes With. On today's edition, we're going to talk to Gene McKinney of Heartland QT. He's going to be at Creekside Revival coming up at the end of the month here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Hey, Gene, how are you doing?
Doing great. And I won't be the only one there, though. The whole group is going to be there.
Well, that's good.
And
See?
it'll be good to reconnect with everybody we met last year. Had a good time.
Hey, tell us a little bit about your group.
Well, it's second time around for us. Most of the guys in the group, four of us, actually sung with the early Kingdom Heirs back in beginning in 1971 when the group first started. And we were with them until our families began to grow, and we weren't full time. So I came off the road to raise my children and go to church with my family and all that. So we took a hiatus. I led choir at my church and worked at various other teaching Sunday school and this, that, and the other for several years. And then, of all things, my wife and daughter got together, a bunch of the old guys, for my 60th birthday party. And that's been 11 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so after that, we got back together. Several of us got back together they were together back in the 70s and early 80s. And we got the itch, and God called us back into the ministry, and we're thoroughly enjoying it.
So tell us about the guys in the group.
In the current group, it's myself as lead, Dwayne Wyrick, who, after he left the Kingdom Heirs back in the early 80s, he started a family group, which was called Eternal Heart, and they traveled for about over 20 years. And he's a really good bass. You've heard him. Then Robin Googe, who is our bass player's wife, sings with us, and our bass player Steve Googe was with me in the early Kingdom Heirs, started in 71 also. And then Buddy Mulkey, who does our technician stuff, who runs our soundtracks. He used to sing tenor for us back in those days, but he has a ear and pitch problem these days, so he is still very vibrant part of the group as our sound guy and roadie. So we get some work out of him, and then of course Steve on the bass guitar, and then the newbie in the group who's been with us a couple of years is Terry Burkhalter, singing baritone. That's our group.
That's awesome.
The
Heartland QT. Hey, what's your favorite song you guys are singing right now?
We like a lot of them, and we're learning new ones because we are going to cut a new project here the end of April up in studio where we've not been before, up in near Candler, North Carolina, where the primitive quartet's from. So I wrote a new one called Heartland, as a matter of fact, and it's people are responding to that song quite well, and we're going to record it on this project. And then we do some old Oak Ridge Boys stuff, like Through It All, do some things, do some of the current stuff like Scars in Heaven, and He Can Take It. I think Brian Free does He Can Take It. And we're excited about that. We sung in concert just a couple of weeks ago and tried our songs for our album out on the people, and it went great.
Oh, that's cool. You mentioned Brian Free. Who's your favorite group right now out in Southern gospel music besides yourself?
I got to put the Kingdom Heirs up there,
Yeah. Well, that's true.
And the only bad thing about them is Arthur is too good a golfer for me. I play quite a bit of golf, and he and I get together, and he shoots down there close to par. I'm in the middle of the 80s still.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always tell people my handicap in golf is playing golf. So that's kind of it. Hey, give everybody the website.
We don't have a website. You have to connect with us on Facebook. Facebook, Heartland QT on Facebook. And actually, when we got back together, we used to work a lot with syndicated gospel music promoter J. Basil Mull, who was here in town. We did a lot of his concerts and a lot of appearances on his mull singing convention that was syndicated and went out over a huge part of the country. And so he used to call us Knoxville's own Kingdom Heirs. And so when we first looked for a name to call our group, we called it Knoxville's Own as kind of a toss back to that. And along the way, we decided a billboard in front of a church that says Knoxville's Own is going to be here. People might think, Knoxville's Own what? So anyway, we thought about it, prayed about it, came up with the name Heartland Quartet, and that's what we are now, and that's what we're going to remain as long as we're doing this business.
Awesome. Thanks, Gene, for being with us on 5 Minutes With. See them at Creekside Revival coming up March 30th through April 2nd in Pigeon Forge.
Thank you, Rob.